Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Empowering Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.
What's going on, Julie?
Well, here we are in the throes of tax season.
The greatest time of the year. Kind of like Christmas.
For some.
Yes.
But I think one of the questions that we get asked, even when we're out and about, is like, my CPA is not calling me back. I can't get a hold of my CPA. I really need them. It's tax season. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's unfortunate. They're not getting the call back. It's probably a couple reasons. One, just CPA probably doesn't like you. I'm kidding, of course. That's not the case. But the big reason is that if your CPA is doing nothing but compliance work, which is just grinding out returns, that means everything is due in that month and a half of tax season, and there's no time to really talk to anybody and give them any advice. So if you're working with a CPA who is more of an advisor and a planner, all those conversations are having all year. So all those questions are handling all the year. So there's great communication, and taxes is just like, hey, we got your return ready. Everything is exactly as planned. We'll get with you in a few weeks and map out the next year and start the consulting, advising the rest of the year. That's the kind of relationship you want.
So I think we need to define, though, the people that are looking for the relationship and looking for the call, and the people that are maybe looking for that compliance, that just want the output because that's what they have to do. Who do you think, or how do we navigate that channel?
Well, again, people think, we'll call it just a taxpayer, business owners, they think that they only need the tax preparer to do the compliance work. And that is 99% of the time not true. You need somebody that can be an advocate to teach you how to run a better business, to teach you how to take advantage of the tax code. You cannot help somebody take advantage of the tax code on April 12th when you're doing last year's data. It's really hard to be a tax advisor. You can plan the next year maybe and start doing things, but you're trying to get things done. These conversations should have been happening all last year. So you think you needed just a tax preparer, but you really need an advisor throughout the year.
So what advice would you give our listeners who maybe are stuck in that loop of they can't get the email back, they can't get the phone call back, whatever, they can't get a hold of their person? What advice would you give them here as we're in tax season?
I would send coffee and donuts to the office of your CPA, and I think you'll probably get a call back because that's the best way to do that. But no, I think just recognize, again, it's like everything else. Everybody has a busy season, and your CPA at this time of year is every single client they have needs to be touched in 6 weeks. And every single client has a unique situation needs worked through. It's really hard to give a long, drawn-out, deep conversation in tax season because you have to see everybody. So just be cognizant of that. So be very direct with your question, small talk at a minimum, and just trying to get the connection and see what needs done and then move on. And then talk after tax season about what needs to happen.
Well, and I think if you have the ability to maybe file an extension to be able to have that deeper conversation, reminder, it's not an extension to pay, it's just an extension to file. But maybe being able to have that time to sit down to maybe get that attention that you're so craving, it could be a possibility as well.
Right, because again, most people don't realize with the changes in the tax law and what happens, our clients, we communicate what's going on, we got it covered, but a lot of folks don't do that. So when they get to their tax return, now those questions come up, and every time you have a question, there's 50 more questions that come up. Most preparers are not set up to answer 50 questions from a timing standpoint on April 12th. So it just can't happen. So you got to have those questions prior to that. And again, just recognize that's a one bad, and then you're going to do better the next year and try to find somebody that can have that conversation throughout the year.
It's good advice.
I know, it's great advice. And again, just your CPA is working their butt off this time of year, trying to get everything right and put it all together. Heck, Ohio didn't even let us file tax returns until 3 days ago for our businesses. So, I mean, when you think about that, there's just a lot that has to happen. We appreciate everybody's patience. But no, send over some coffee and donuts, and I'm sure your CPA will call you back right away.
Give them that caffeine.
You got that right. Another great edition of Empowering Entrepreneurs Podcast. I'm Glenn Harper.
Julie Smith.